Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying when we came in here. Oh well. Oh, now we do 7. Happy day. These guys also never die. Ever. They're worth 200 EXP though. Might be worth it to train here. Not quite sure. We're here, we might as well train. Fan-shaped tail. Here we are. What is that nonsense? What is that? Seriously. I know of no bird that looks like that. Well, anyway, I just realized that I never finished my wild tangent about being a bird and being a mammal, but I was just wondering if maybe if you evolve yourself correctly as a pterodactyl, maybe if you chose to become a mammal, you'd become more like a little bird or something. I think that would be cool. If not, if that isn't the case, I understand, obviously. There is a bit of pressure involved when doing this, because if you mess up the button combination, you're gonna get some fangs in the face. And they're doing 10 hit points without biting us. Oh, do they sleep? They sleep. That's funny. But they're doing 10 hit points without biting us. They do a... Hello friends, we're back. Sorry for the odd pause there. That was... I think I was going to conclude by saying that when the tyrannosaurs bite you, it hurts a lot more than when they just jump into you like that. But anyway, last we left off... Yes, it has been quite some time. It's been about 2 weeks since the last recording, maybe a little longer actually, might have even been a month. But yeah, we're back friends for another exciting day of Let's Playing EVO, the search for Eden. More like the search for more things to eat. I'm not quite sure exactly what I remember if I explained the whole aspect and mechanic of the pterodactyl here, but there really aren't that many levels to play as when you're a pterodactyl. And because of this, primarily if you want to see how the pterodactyl plays out, or the bird I should say, I think it's actually considered to be the bird race. If you want to see how the bird plays out, you either have to not turn into a mammal later when we get the chance, or you have to do what we're doing now, which is grind in the few levels left before the dinosaur age ends. Because you pretty much go straight into just being a mammal in the mammal age, but they do give you the choice, which is kind of interesting. And I'm sure I've already talked all about that. The fact that you can just play as a dinosaur, beat the game as a dinosaur, should you choose. It's a bit boring, but I think we owe it to see, just, you know, see what the bird can do, what it's capable of, how it pairs up to the other classes. One advantage, obviously, is the fact that it can fly. I mean, I can see no disadvantage in the ability to fly. It lets you skip over all the platforming parts of the game. It also allows you to just fly and hit an enemy repetitively. Downfall is you do see a pretty lack in attack power. I mean, 8 damage isn't that much. We're gonna evolve our body here into the warted body, which actually will increase our attack points a bit. We become purple, which is kind of nice. We go from doing 8 damage to 11. I wasn't really aware that increasing your armor actually increased your striking attack points, but it does. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're evolving your character, is that, you know, I used to think armor was like, well, it was like the last thing on my list, because really, I usually just go for attack points and speed and mobility. I don't worry about armor and HP. But it turns out that, which makes sense, that if you had a heavier body, more armor plating, heavier scales, that you would do more damage when you're ramming into an enemy. And we'll just go straight into the armor body here for 2,500. That's going to give us a very, very prehistoric looking pterodactyl body. It's going to raise our attack points by another 2. It's going to raise our defense by another 3 points comparatively to the warded body. It is, however, also going to make it so that eating dinosaurs only gives us 7 health. And so, as I've already said, the higher your armor, less hit points you gain. Honestly, the trade-off is usually worth it. You're not going to sit there and panic going, oh no, I'll never be able to eat anything and heal. No, you say, I want the extra attack points and the extra armor. That's what you say, friends. We're at 1,800. Did we max out our tail? No, we need 3 million for the tail. I lied, it's 3,000, but it still feels like forever. Yeah, 200 at a time. I'm really not sure if there's a faster way to get EXP, or I should say evolution points. Pretty steady flow, fast respawn. The ability to fly does, I think, speed things up a bit, because we don't have to deal with all these cliff sides, jumping around on them and stuff. You just fly right over them. You do have to be a little quick with your hands, a little good on the D-pad, in order to just get a strike going there over and over again. But it usually just ends up being mashing the over button while you're just hitting the A button every once in a while. So here we go with the long-tailed bird's tail, I mean. It's gonna give us some feathers, some actual real feathers. Increases our speed and our attack points by 2. Very nice. Yeah, it definitely increases the speed. You can just see it there. A few more hit points. We're not really concerned about the hit points. The hit points just... we'll take them if they give them to us. If not, we'll let them be. There's no need to obsess over them. I mean, there are some games where you do want to, you know, keep your hit points in mind. Advance Wars is one of them. I know that sounds strange because that's not really technically an RPG at all, but hit points matter in Advance Wars. Healing matters in Advance Wars. In this game, hit points, not interested in them. As long as you have enough to take maybe 1 or 2 hits from your enemies, you're fine. You want attack points, especially because it's a real-time game. Any real-time RPG, more often than not, your main concern should be attack points. So you're not gonna take damage if you just use your brain a little bit and move out of the way. The faster you kill your enemy, the quicker they won't be able to kill you. There's no need to even concern yourself with defense. Alright, here we are with 3,000. Let's just see what we can get here. We've already maxed out our tail. Dorsal fin, we've maxed that out. Go into the jaws, but those are really not that useful for a bird. We extend our neck and be goofy like that, but we won't. Oh, that's right. We'll go for the feather body. Feather body is probably the peak, the pinnacle of the bird. Obviously, you want feathers. It does lower your attack points, but it gives you another 10 hit points. And I would complain about the lower of attack points, but you do only lose 2 attack points, which is a loss, but I'm not gonna rap on it for one reason. We are even faster than before. It's not the 10 hit points we're concerned with, it's the speed. We have a lot of mobility right now, and oftentimes mobility is gonna allow us to even be able to strike more often and more quickly. So in a sense, you gotta consider that, in a way, that's almost like increasing your attack points. If you do more damage per second, even though your number of damage that you're doing is lower, the actual damage you're doing over an amount of time is greater. Not to mention the fact that being able to avoid your enemy is also a useful tactic for staying alive. Right, here we are with some jaws. We'll go with the Pteranodon jaws. Look at some goofy bird jaws going on here. Yeah, look at us. Baka! Some crazy bird. We now do a whopping 2 HP of damage when we bite instead of 1. You can see the crucial advantage that is. Oh, look at some super meat there. We'll go with the fancy jaws. Yes, we look even goofier than before. Now we have teeth in our beak. Fly, man! Now we do 3 damage. Crucial strategy to our overall plan. Long-tailed bird's jaws. Here we are with a beak. Yeah, we really look like a bird now. How much damage does this actually do? Ouch. 4. Still not very much. I wonder if there would be some advantage to keeping the bird jaws. Let's try and make ourselves as bird-like as we can. We could get... There's one more step up from these birds' jaws. It gives you like eagle jaws, but... Let's actually get rid of our dorsal fin. It's not very bird-like. We do less damage now. 3 points less damage. That's kind of a loss, but right now I'm actually just kind of thinking it might be fun just to make ourselves as bird-like as possible. There are actually secret evolutions. I've never really messed around with the bird. I usually just gave it Tyrannosaurus teeth and just said done. I've never tried to make it look as bird-like as possible. Let's decrease our body size. Here we are. Look pretty bird-like. Doing a lot less damage. We have a lot less hit points. Less defense now. We're a lot faster though, that's for sure. Really don't think we can make ourselves any more bird-like than we are now. Not much of a chance of that anyway. We could get a horn, but that really wouldn't do anything for us. Back of the head? No. Tail. I already got the bird tail. Birds really don't have dorsal fins. Horns, neck, body. That's about it. Alright, let's move on. I think we've really seen just about all the bird has to offer us. We'll do the one secret level that I keep blabbing about that you can do as a bird. What we gotta do, friends, we gotta follow that cloud. You see it floating around there on the overworld? That cloud is a moving secret level. In order to get into it, we have to wait until the cloud stops on a level, as it will probably there, and then just go up by entering into the level. It's a completely optional level, as is becoming a bird. And we'll be encountering a cloud maze of sorts. It's not too terribly difficult, just try not to get lost. Don't go around in circles, that's always discouraging. I believe what we're really looking for here is a red crystal. There might be a blue crystal somewhere that gives us bonus experience points. I want to say there is. Oh, there's the red crystal. That was actually pretty easy. Crystal power causes mysterious evolution within you. We've become a dragon. Not just any dragon. We look like Ridley off of Super Metroid. How awesome is that? But so anyway, friends, obviously we can't keep this form forever. It's not gonna let us. But what you want to do is come here and turn into this thing and then save the evolution. That way, should you want to, you can always go back and use your green crystals to evolve into the dragon. Yeah, we'll just drop down here. Ouch. Apparently clouds are solid. Fly, Ridley, fly! Some snacks up there, mosquitoes if you get hungry. Not quite sure where we are. Pretty sure this is the exit. Or not. Yeah, 'cause it's got to be around here somewhere. Ugh.